As soon as you boot up Sparking Zero, the very first thing the game wants you to pay attention to are the controller options. And not just that, but specifically accessibility options are on by default. And for good reason, because a lot of this stuff is very important. While I had my copy, I tested out all the controller options and accessibility options to get you guys covered and squared away, so that as soon as the game launches, you're able to just jump in and play after you pick your controls. By default, the game wants you to play and assumes you need to play in semi-automatic accessibility for battle assist. And what this will do is it'll turn guard assist and recovery assist on. Now, it's entirely up to you, but I want you to understand something. While guard assist is active, it will interfere with your inputs if you try to do perception parries or even Z counter vanishes, because the game will prioritize a block instead of a frame perfect execution, and this will mess you up even if your timing is on point. This is also even more so of a problem really when you have classic controls set to on, which I know a lot of people are going to be wanting to run classic, because in classic mode, guard is actually your circle button, and you need to press circle and triangle together to do a perception parry, which again, with guard assist on, will instead focus on blocking in general, so keep that in mind. But recovery assist is actually pretty good. You should totally have that on. There's no negative to this, and it just helps you get back into the fight a little bit easier without having to mash so much while opponents knock you away. That's just the beginning. We have plenty more tips on the way for you guys with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. We've been playing the game for quite some time, and man, you guys are in for a really good one. So hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any of those updates. We got a lot more videos on the way. Upgrades at 38%, even higher. And now, let's get into the video. So going back into the accessibility options, combo assist here will actually help you fill in those combo gaps a little bit easier. So you can keep the counter going in case you miss time and input. It helps out with the window. Follow-up attack assist, dragon dash assist, as well as the other attack assist, all help with your chase down after knocking an enemy away or trying to extend that knockback chain. This will help you rush at them a little easier, but these options obviously do burn key charge, so I would rather do them manually for myself rather than expending it when I don't need to. But each person's inputs are going to be different, so you will want to experiment with your strings to see just how these can help or actually be a negative. An absolute must turn off though are revenge counter assists. Revenge counter is a new mechanic, it's very dope, and it's extremely easy to trigger it yourself, but it does cost skill points. So if you do have this one on, it will automatically use it for you and get you out of a combo, but at the expense of skill points, which by the way, skill points allow you to access more of your moves for the character. You can use skill points to transform, you can use them to go into sparking. Ultimately, you want to save those and build those up for matches. Left-handed mode is a benefit for lefties to help with inputs by swapping them to whichever side is more comfortable. And now that accessibility mode is kind of figured out for the most part, we're going to take a dive into these standard and classic controls, which we talked about in our review video, which is linked down below in case you guys missed that. But essentially, I'm starting to think that standard controls might be the move for most players, especially newcomers. I'm playing on classic and I do enjoy it. It reminds me of the controls back in the day, but on standard, the defensive options have been very simplified and there are only one button input presses for some of the more main defensive mechanics that you're going to want to be using. No, seriously, they're way more easier to execute them. On standard, the block button is the R1 button or the right bumper, but there is a dedicated perception parry button, which is the circle button. And it makes it super consistent and easy to use both of them at will. You can even trigger sonic sways a little bit more easier, I found, when you're using this. On classic controls, the circle button is the block button. So if you want to do a perception, you do need to press triangle and circle together in order to trigger it. And while that's not inherently difficult, some people will have issues with misinputs, and I can already see that happening. So standard makes it so that defense has a lot less possibilities for error compared to when you're playing on classic. Now, another thing in standard are the new revenge counters. Revenge counters can be triggered by hitting the right stick button while you are getting hit by the opponent. You'll break out of the combo at the cost of about 2 skill points to spend. In classic mode, to execute this, you do have to double tap the left bumper or the L1 button, which is slightly slower and can actually minimize your damage taken if you're technically using the standard version, because you're going to get hit less, because you're going to be able to activate it more. Straight up, I think both controller options are fantastic, but if you're concerned with not having that perfect defense, then the standard controls seem to aim to want to fix that. Whereas classic controls, the original veterans and many others will still find success with it in there. It's just ultimately up to you which options you want to go for. especially since this game is opting to put accessibility assists on by default. I think you're going to want to play around with those and the standard controls to see what suits you more. Because another major thing is that auto guard, it won't interfere with your inputs if you're using standard because it is an R1 button, and you'll just be pressing circle to do perception. But in the classic controls, doing a perception combination input of circle and triangle, you don't want to have guard assist on because it will prioritize the guard over the perception. And will even prioritize guard over Z counters, which I found it kept happening to me when I was trying this out. Even with near perfect inputs, it just kept going for a guard instead, and I was not getting any of my counters to come off. Now, these options obviously exist to help out those who may have disabilities or problems playing with the game, but they're also available for everyone to use. But now that you have an idea of what they do, I want you guys to comment down below which options are you guys going to be using. Also, let me know which character do you guys want to see broken down next. We have a general combo guide video coming soon, probably tomorrow, to help you guys out. Yeah, I think that's going to be releasing tomorrow. This game's combo system is very general and a very easy one to pick up and just play, but we will be going through universal ones and understanding what routes each character has, because a big deciding factor in your combo lengths and combo routes for this game heavily rely on what your character has as their rush attacks and their enders, which can vary depending on the character. Thankfully, it does feel like most characters are not incredibly limited in this game, but of course there are going to be other strengths in different areas for them that you just have to consider. The main thing though is the way rush attacks end. If there is a variety of moves that end up turning enemies around, do ki cannons or even gut punches, you're going to be eating good. But if they double up, it can be kind of annoying, but it's not the end of the world. You can still make things work. But of course, the goal is to get you to understand how to form these combos and get these things working at an intermediate pace in order to get to the advanced levels. And then you can see new routes forming before your eyes. Trust me, it's very simple and easy to pick up. Sparking Zero is finally here, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be labbing the game. There's a massive hurricane coming my way this week, and while I really want to stream the game, I do have to get my house and stuff in order, so look forward to streaming and playing against you guys soon in the near future, if not today or tomorrow. I normally do stream on YouTube and Twitch simultaneously, so you can catch me on either of those platforms. But since we will be posting a lot of content, Sparking content specifically, on YouTube, I'm actually debating on whether or not I should just be streaming on Twitch, so this way I could just have those uploads ready to go for YouTube without interfering with the stream, or vice versa. What do you guys think? What platform do you prefer? Sound off in the comments below, and let's get a discussion going. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you are new. More Dragon Ball content is on the way, and you don't want to miss them. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.